Hi everyone, welcome back to At the Stove with Audrey Grove. I'm so happy that you decided to join me today. Right now, it's a beautiful sunny day, but of course it's winter, so tomorrow is another storm. Well, believe it or not, this is episode 22 of At the Stove with Audrey Grove, and I'm so grateful that we get to spend and share this time together and make some really good recipes. So today we are going to make Apple Fritter Bread, and I don't know about you, but I think it's going to be really good. So as I say, let's get cooking. All right, I've gotten everything kind of set up in bowls so that this will go really quickly. Here we go. We're going to mix the wet ingredients first. So in my mixer already, I have a stick of butter, room temperature. It's a little shy of room temperature, so we might have to mix a little bit longer. And into that, we're gonna add 2/3 of a cup of sugar. And we're using the mixer today, so I apologize ahead of time for the noise. And here we go. We're gonna just start with that. Maybe that's not off to a good start. Okay, here we go. So, noise, get ready. So I'm just gonna let this go for a minute, and I see it's breaking up the butter nicely, and it's creaming with the sugar. So, all good. Excellent. We're gonna get this till it's a little bit light and fluffy. Beautiful. I'm just gonna turn this off for a second and scrape down, oh, I feel like I'm yelling. I think I was. Scrape down the sides of the bowl, and just another 30 seconds more, and we'll add our next things. Good, we're all set. Okay, next thing is we're gonna add our 2 eggs. And we're gonna add them one at a time. So I apologize, lots of noise again. And second egg, which feels like it went more on my fingers than it did on the mixers. Okay, here we go, second egg. Oh, I put that one on nice and high. Good. And then 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I thought this would just be a really nice recipe to make today, to have, to snack on, and for dessert, since we're inside, since it's freezing out today. I think they said with the wind chill factor it was going to be 16 degrees. Okay, mix that in. Gonna scrape down the bowl again. This recipe calls for scraping down the bowl quite a few times just to make sure that everything is really incorporated well. Really nice. It's like you don't have to do anything, just press a button. One more scrape down, because this is really important to get this base part of the batter incorporated. because next we'll be throwing in our flour mixture. Okay. Looking good. Okay, so now in my flour bowl, I have 1.5 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna add that all in. So it says with the mixer on to add the flour. That always makes me so nervous, because you know the flour tends to go. So I'm gonna start by throwing in a little this. All right, fingers crossed. Not bad, a little bit of flour flying. Let's see if we can get this flour in without spilling it all. I want to get every last drop because I really want this to come out good. Good. Oh, this looks beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to take this out of here. And let's see if we can move that over a little bit. Get this off of. This looks good. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to do is put in 1/2 cup of milk, but I want to get all the batter off, and mix that 1/2 cup of milk in by hand. Okay, there's still more on here. So I'm going to take 1/2 cup mixture, and I'm going to just gently pour it in and take it with just mixing by hand. You could do the milk mixed in on the mixer, but I don't want, it says be careful not to over mix, so I decided that I would do it by hand. And our batter is done, and it just, I'll give you a quick look at the batter. It's nothing too exciting. So now we're gonna prepare our pan. And I have a loaf pan. Getting really crowded over here, yikes. And we're gonna spray it with some canola oil. Make sure I get the sides and the corners. And I'm gonna take 1/2 of my mixture and put it in. So, let's see. Good. I'm just gonna, let's see. What can I use? I'm just gonna push it around in here so that it nicely covers the bottom. Just gonna check my recipe for a moment. Okay, so I've got 1/2 of them in there, 1/2 of the batter. So, remember we call this apple fritter bread, right? Before we started, I cut up 2 Portland apples, mixed it with cinnamon and sugar. And I'm gonna put 1/2 of this mixture, hang on, I'm gonna get a spoon, 1/2 of this mixture onto the bread. Got a lot of stuff going on here. Too crowded. Maybe I need a bigger kitchen. Gotta work on it. And maybe a little bit more, since we're doing half of the batter. Half of the apple mixture, I'm sorry, on top of half of the batter. And then half of our brown sugar and cinnamon mixture. So I'm gonna sprinkle that on. Oh, this is already smelling so delicious. I don't know about you, but I love a good apple dessert. More, just to cover. So here we are, that's covered. So we've got half of the batter, half of the apples, and half of the cinnamon brown sugar mixture. So let's put the other half of the batter in. And I'm just gonna kind of put it in globs so that it'll be easier for me to spread. Okay. I realized that I forgot to put my apron on today. So we'll see how much of this ends up on my shirt. All right, so covering up that middle layer of the apples and the cinnamon sugar. Let's see if we can get a little more batter out of our pan. This is looking delicious, folks. Oh, we got a lot more batter. Okay, I think that's good. And I'm gonna take my spoon and just smooth it again. So, okay, now, here it is. We're gonna take the rest of our apples, spoon them on. And we don't wanna waste any of this. Although I used Cortland apples, you could use any kind that you have in the house. That's what I happen to have. And I'm just gonna have a little bit of this cinnamon and brown sugar melted mixture. I'm gonna pour that on here. And then our cinnamon and brown sugar mixture goes on top. This is gonna make it nice and like a sugary glaze on top, nice and crunchy. Get all of this covered. All right. So we are ready to go in the oven. Here we go. And if you look at the side, you could see some of those layers. I'm gonna put this in the oven at 350. Let's see, how long are we, 50 to 60 minutes. So, by the way, it says to just gently press the apple and cinnamon mixture into the dough or the batter. Okay. All right, here we go. 50 to 60 minutes. Got batter all over me. We'll be back when we pull this guy out of the oven. All right. Our cake is ready to take out of the oven. I did the toothpick test and at 52 minutes in, and it came out that it wasn't ready, so I put it back in for another 7 minutes, and it's perfect now. So let's take it out. Oh gosh, my house smells so good. Woo, baby. There it is. So this is just another step. We've got to let it cool. And then I'm gonna take my little knife and run it around the edges and put it onto the cooling rack for probably about a half an hour. So we'll be back to make the glaze and finish this off. All right, our apple fritter bread is cooled, and I made a glaze with milk and confection sugar, and I'm just gonna do a nice little drizzle of the glaze all over the bread. And I'm sorry if I sound like I'm out of breath. I just went and walked in the 16-degree weather for 35 minutes during my lunch hour, which was really good because it has given me a lot of energy and maybe some color in my cheeks, I'm guessing. I bundled up really warm. If you're feeling good and want to go outside, even for just a few minutes, I feel like it just changes your perspective. Okay, so nice little drizzle. I'm gonna let this dry or harden, and then we'll be back to take a bite together. We are back. This apple fritter bread is ready to go. So we've baked it, we've cooled it, we've glazed the top, we've let that cool again, and here is our beautiful apple fritter bread. And I am going to slice myself a little, and we'll see how good this is. Ooh. So just to also show you the beautiful cinnamon and apples in the middle of the cake. Let's take this, put it on a plate, and might as well use this knife, give a little cut. Here we go. You have to make this. Hands down, delicious. Oh my goodness. Not hard to make. Ingredients that you probably have at home, except maybe the apples. This is so good. It's like eating an apple fritter. Wow. Okay. Delicious. I'm so glad that you joined me today. I do hope you make this bread. You can reach out to me at agrove@masonicare.org if you need the recipe, or you can reach out to Carrie Hatch at Ashler Village, Leisure Activities. I hope you're doing okay. I hope you can try to get outside a little bit in this cold weather if it's safe to do so. Don't forget, always wear a mask. And remember that cooking is love that you can taste. Take care.